All right, so first thing first, obviously we are going to take a look, mainly at my KW on here. So we have a couple things that I want to go over real quick. All right, so the first one on here is how you can actually update your app as a team. All right, so the biggest question we always get from teams is everyone's going to have their own app. They're going to have their own information. All right, every agent is going to have their own MyKW platform. So in this case, how can we utilize our app as a team? Well, there's a couple different places that you'll first want to take a look at. All right, and what you can actually do is you can update this for all agents as well. All right, now obviously some of the information on the app is actually going to pull from the profile section, but the main place that we're going to focus on is clicking the plus sign of My Marketing and going to Manage eAgency Website, that last option down on here. Now I always like to tell people to think of the eAgency site with that capital A as in app. All right, because that typically is going to be your app website on here. All right, so the eAgency site is actually an older site that was supposed to go away a little bit over a year ago. All right, so this is what I typically suggest utilizing. All right, so don't really think about, sorry, I don't typically suggest utilizing. I utilize this for the app, but don't utilize it as the actual website. Now, under the eAgency site, there's actually 3 places you'll want to focus on. All right, and hopefully this will pop up in a quick second. And of course, you can do this for all, agents on your team as well. So the first place you'd really want to focus on is under 1.0 and 1.2 on the left-hand side. All right, so 1.0 and 1.2. Now, this is going to be your contact information on here. All right, so when actually looking at this contact info, the big 3 items to pay attention to are the agent display name, the email address, and the phone number. All right, the agent display name up here is going to be the name that actually pops up on your app. So whenever you actually download your KW app and you but whenever it first pops up, it'll just automatically display, here's your name of the person that you're linked up to. All right, so this is where you can actually change out the agent display name. So what I usually suggest is putting inside the team name on here. All right, so by putting inside that team name, this will automatically just brand the app as the team instead. Now, the email address on here is actually the email that whenever someone clicks Contact Agent, it'll automatically email over to that person. So if you guys happen to have one location that's purely just going to be for leads, all right, this might help out tremendously just to add inside that email on here. Now, of course, you could also put inside each agent's email address if you want them to receive their own leads from the app. But if it's going to be for a team and you just have one CRM that you're utilizing, this might help out tremendously. All right, then of course we also happen to have the phone number. All right, much like that email address option on here, whenever someone tries to contact an agent, you're going to have email and phone option. So on here for the phone number, this is where you'll just need to put inside whatever phone number you want to display. All right, so if someone's going to try and call or text, all right, this is what will pop up. All right, now once again, if you happen to have a phone number that's just for your team, then this is where you want to add that inside real quick. All right, now once it is all done, just click the Save option, and you'll be good to go. All right, it'll say Save Successful. Now, one thing to note, just to give you a heads up about the app, it does take 72 hours to update. So anything that you actually add in right now will typically take approximately 72 hours to actually go through and change out. Sorry. So just a heads up, anything that you add in will not immediately update. I want to make sure that is known on here, because I know a lot of people will go through and try to, say, hey, I just added this in, and unfortunately it hasn't popped up yet. So I just want to let you know it does take about 72 hours to display. All right. Now the next thing to take a look at would be under 2.0 for Design Your Website and 2.4 for Edit Site Info. Now, the only big thing you'd want to focus on here is going to be what website you're actually going to display, all right, that's going to actually pop up on your app. So under the My Agent section, there is an option where you can actually link up your website, and it'll have a little Visit My Website URL. This URL will come directly from the KW profile, so not only are we updating on the app, we're also updating on our profile too. All right, so the only place we really want to focus on is under this Hosting section. All right, so under hosting on here, as you can see, we really just want to focus on website to display and alternate website. All right, so for website to display on here, we want to make sure we select the alternate option. All right, and then that we actually put inside our alternate website URL, so whatever the team URL is going to be. Now, one thing to note, you do have to include the HTTP or HTTPS://. All right, so you have to include the hypertext transfer, I think it's hypertext transfer protocol is what it stands for. All right, so you do have to include that. Typically, if you're just going to a URL, you never have to include that anymore, but in this particular case, you do have to include HTTP or HTTPS. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. All right, but this is a way so whenever someone does download a team member's app, it'll automatically have the team website on there too. Now, this will automatically display on the KW profile once you scroll to the bottom and click the Save option. All right, much like I just did right now. All right, and once again, it does take 72 hours to update on the app too. All right, now the final thing for the app that I would definitely suggest taking a look at for Teams is obviously under 4.0 for Add Listings IDX Search, and then 4.5 for Mobile Property Search. All right, this is where you can actually view what your app info is going to be, but more importantly, you can actually add inside a mobile app service area. I would highly suggest adding in the same service area for everyone on your team so the branding is the same. All right, so in this case, you could add inside serving, if she's a part of Portland, Oregon, so maybe she wants to say serving greater Portland area. All right, you could actually put inside your cell phone number again if you wanted to. All right, whatever you want to add on there. Because then whenever you download the app, at the very bottom, when it's branded to yourself, it would have the name you have in 1.2, which hopefully would be the team name. And then right below that, it would have your service area. Now, if you leave the service area blank, it's going to display your market center city. All right, so this is a great way where you can actually display whatever you want your team to display, even if it's the team slogan on here. Now, there is a character limitation. I don't know the exact characters, but it's approximately 45. All right, so you want to have 45 or less to add that in. All right, now one thing that many teams will do, though, just to give you a heads up, is instead of actually having each agent use their own app, they'll actually go through and just utilize the main agent's app instead. All right, and the reason for that is because then if anyone ever goes through and tries to create a profile or maybe tries to contact, it'll contact the main agent only. All right, and this way it'll automatically go into one database, one CRM, so you can make it a little bit easier for all the agents to use. And we're going to show you in a second how you can actually access shared access to set that up to utilize even further. All right, but once again, whenever this is completed, just click that Save option, and you'll be all good to go. All right, so whether you want to use, each agent has their own app, you want to use it that way, or you just want to use one agent, the main agent's app, all right, this is just a great way to kind of brand everything as the team. All right, I'd highly suggest utilizing the app because at the end of the day, this is going to allow them to search for listings in your MLS and even outside of your MLS. All right, so pretty much like going to Zillow, TrulyARealtor.com, where you can search for any listing, this is going to be very, very similar. All right, so that's just how you can actually update the app real quick. All right, I did that one because it's a few less steps than some of the other items we're actually going to take a look at. All right, so one of the next big things I definitely want to take a look at is how you can actually brand your MyKW account as the team as well. All right, now there are obviously multiple locations on here where you'll probably need to go through and brand your info. All right, so first thing first, if you happen to have a team email or a team phone number, you definitely want to click on the profile option up here at the top left. All right, so we always want to click on that profile option up here because this is the profile that will not only display on KW.com, but it'll also display for other agents to view as well. All right, so as you can see, there's a Find an Agent section on here where they can search for your profile too. All right, now under the other option for My Referrals, this is where you can add inside all of your team info too. Now on here, this is pretty much just going to help you to add inside your team email, all right, the team phone number if you happen to have one, and then also the team name. All right, so we want to make sure that everything is set up properly for the team when first utilizing this. All right, so as you can see, once I click on that other My Referrals section on here, looks like it's slowly popping up for me. Hopefully it'll pull up very soon. All right, then it's going to give us a section to add inside our team name, add inside our email, and our phone number on here, and hopefully it pops up. If not, once you click on this, you'll see those little tabs very easily to add that in. All right, this is just one other location where people can actually contact you. All right, now obviously the phone number will display on your KW.com profile. All right, and then the email address and the phone number will display for other KW agents to view right away. All right, so it looks like it's not popping up, so I don't want to waste your time on that or anything of that sort. That's okay. All right, but that's just one place where you would want to update your phone number and your email to mimic the team's info. Now, another place on here that you definitely want to take a look at would be under the My Marketing section. So I'm going to click on the New Listings link under My Marketing to make sure that we have our team info and our team branding set up. All right, because whenever we're making any of these marketing pieces, I want to make sure that team info auto-populates for us. All right, so I'm going to click on that New Listings link under My Marketing real quick. There we go. Now this is going to take us to the back end of our eEdge back office, kind of our eEdge control panel on here. All right, so if we're actually trying to access everything, first thing that we'll want to take a look at is we'll want to click on the account option at the top right up here. All right, so we want to click on the account option. All right, and once we click on that, we're going to get a drop down of everything that we can actually utilize. Now, the biggest thing we'll want to take a look at is the My Account section on here. All right, this is where we can actually go through and update all of our information that'll auto-populate not only on our eEdge website, but more importantly on all of our marketing pieces. All right, so once I click on My Account on here, all right, then as you can see, we have all of our info that we can update to change this out immediately. So if I click on this Edit option up here at the top left, here we go. All right, then I can go through and I can actually update our name. I can update our title, our license number, our designations. All right, so obviously for the name, if you don't want to just put inside the team name only, you might want to put inside maybe Scott Leroy - the Guide for Real Estate Group. All right, so that way we happen to have the team name on there too. All right, you can also put inside your team email address under the external email and marketing reply to email. You can add inside the team website under marketing website. Now remember, once again, this is just so this will auto-populate out on all of your marketing pieces to make it a little bit easier for you whenever you're creating them. All right, at the end of the day, this will help out tremendously so you don't have to go back through and update everything manually. All right, or of course, if you are using just one team app, then this is where you can put inside the lead agent's mobile app on here too. All right. Now, anytime you ever change anything, just make sure you click that Save option. Now, these will automatically auto-populate for you immediately. All right, that's the good part about it. It'll auto-populate immediately. Now, any pieces that you may have created previously that you already saved would not update, obviously, because they're already saved. But any new pieces or even any new pieces in your campaigns that you have set up that you haven't personalized yet would automatically update with this new info. All right, so this is just another way to make sure that you're branding yourself as your team. Now, in addition to that, outside of saving it, you can obviously add inside your team's social media accounts, but at the very bottom, you can actually add inside a couple different images. Now, the marketing and website image are typically profile pictures, but in this case, if you want to add inside your team photo, I'd say you happen to have a picture of your team on here, you can add that in too. All right, so much like attaching something to an email or uploading a photo onto Facebook, this is going to be pretty much identical in this case. All right, so all you'd have to do is click that Edit option. All right, and then just click the Browse button so you can actually search for your photo that you want to add inside. Now, once again, you don't have to put inside the entire team photo if you don't want to, but I may suggest it if you guys are just trying to brand yourself purely as the team on here. All right, and then, of course, there is a section for your marketing logo. All right, on here, you do have the option of adding inside your own team logo. All right, if you have just created a team and you don't happen to have a team logo quite yet, I may highly suggest if you're looking for a high-quality logo, going to brandco.com. All right, they're an approved vendor with KW, and they actually did all of our branding. All right, or if you're just looking for something a little bit very inexpensive or less expensive, all right, you're just looking for something quick, then you can always go to Fiverr.com. All right, Fiverr.com to have that logo created immediately. All right, typically as cheap as $5. All right, but this is where you can actually add inside your team logo on here too. All right, so this will auto-populate along with the KW logo on all marketing pieces that come out. All right, so I'd highly suggest updating these items. That way it can automatically come out for you. All right. So that's just a very small portion as to where you can actually go through and update your MyKW info. We're going to talk about Playster in a second. All right, so I just wanted to show you where you can access this on the eEdge backend. All right, but we do want to talk about Playster as well. All right, so I'm going to hop back over to our MyKW homepage real quick. I want to show you how you can update your Playster info too. Now, Playster is obviously the main website that you'll definitely want to utilize. All right, this is the newer website from KW. It came out about 2 years ago, and it's kind of the site of the future as they branded it. All right, so in this case, in order to actually go through and utilize that Playster site and kind of rebrand it for the team, all right, you can always hover over Technology in the black bar and go to KW Websites. All right, that third option down. Now, one thing to note, if you're on a team and maybe it's just you and someone else, so maybe it's kind of like a partnership, I'm going to show you a couple different helpful tips on here that might actually allow you to kind of display both phone numbers and even display email addresses as well. All right, so if I click on KW Websites on here, here we go. All right, then this is where we can actually access the back end of our Playster site. Now, all that we would really want to do on here is click the Go to My Website option, right where it says your new website is ready. All right, so I'll click on that Go to My Website option on here. All right, and then this will take us directly to the back end of our Playster site so we can actually utilize this even further. Now, this is what our Playster site is currently going to look like. All right, so here's her main Playster site. And if I want to, I can click on the View Site option so I can actually get an idea as to what her Playster site looks like on here. All right, so as you can see, she has it set up with the branding of her team. She has a couple other options on here, so she's done a great job getting everything up and running. All right, now the main section that you really want to focus on updating for the team, that would first and foremost be right over here under this edit option. All right, this is where you can actually edit all the information that'll display for you. All right, so this is kind of like your main site info section. So I'm going to click that edit option down here real quick. All right, and once we click on that edit option on here, all right, then we can go through and edit our site info immediately. Now, the brand name obviously is where you'll want to put inside your team name. All right, so in this case, you can add inside your team name immediately. You can even add inside your slogan or tagline for the team too. All right, and then depending on your market center, depending on your MLS board, all right, you might be able to actually upload your team logo on here as well. All right, so double check with your office, double check with your board, just to make sure everything's within compliance. All right, so in this case, obviously, she had to put inside the Sunset Corridor logo. She wasn't able to put inside, obviously, her branded logo on here, and that's okay. All right, so double check with your office and the board to see if you are able to add that in or if it has to have the brokerage info on it. All right, but if you notice, she does have it set up where it actually is displaying the name and tagline and also the logo, so that's perfect. So this will pop up for her. Now, the reason that she did that is because then she can actually put inside her contact info down here where she can brand it as herself. Now, usually what I suggest is going through and just utilizing one website for the team. All right, one website only for your team. All right, so in this case for the name on here, you could put the team lead's name, or you could just once again mimic what you had previously and put inside the team name as well. All right, now for the email and phone number, you definitely want to put inside your actual email address and your actual phone number of the main person to receive all these leads. Now, another thing that you can do if you would like to add this inside, all right, say if you want to add inside multiple phone numbers, it's only going to call the first phone number when someone clicks on it. I just want to give you a heads up. So if someone's on their phone, all right, and they're on their mobile phone, they're on your website, and they click on either of the phone numbers that would display on here, it's only going to call the first one. All right, but if you do want to add inside a second phone number, you always could. All right, you can click on the phone option. We're going to put inside the less than sign, BR, and then the greater than sign. All right, then you can put inside your other phone number on here. So what this does is this is a code that'll add inside a break. All right, so with that break, it's going to add this phone number below this one. They'll both be hyperlinked, so even if someone clicks the 321 number, it would still call the 503 number, but at least this will automatically display for you. All right, that's another way to do that. Or another thing that some agents like to do as well. All right, this will not display your email on your website just for security purposes. All right, typically for spam issues. Just want to give you a heads up on that. Now, if you do want to display your email, though, all right, you're definitely more than welcome to. All right, all you'd have to do in this case, all right, just put the BR and then put your email on here instead of putting the email up here. All right, that's always an option. All right, so I just want to give you an idea of a couple different items of what you could do. All right, because if we notice, I'm going to go over to our website real quick just so we can get an idea as to what this looks like. All right, so at the top right up here, we've got our name, and then we have the email me option, and then we have the phone number on here. Now, this email me, if we look at the bottom left down here, all right, so once I hover over email me, look at the bottom left down here. All right, it's going to link up with that mail to function. It's going to go to Lori@thegodfreyrealestategroup.com. All right, now that's going to be based on your web browser, how your web browser is set up. So this is different for each person that's viewing your site, each client that's on your website. So if you don't want to confuse them with that, that's perfectly fine. All right, then you could just take that down and you could just leave the phone number option up here too. All right, or of course, once again, if you do want to just add inside your email address underneath your phone, all right, then you could add inside the BR option on here for that break and add inside that email address too. All right, so completely up to you in this case. All right, but I just want to give you an idea as to how that'll look. All right, and then, of course, we can add inside our company info down here, too. And then our meta title and meta description for the team. Now, typically for the meta title, I would highly suggest putting inside the team name on there. All right, so that way if someone starts to search through Google, through Bing, through Yahoo, all right, any of the different search engines, typically Google, all right, then your team name will start to populate a little bit higher from being on here. All right, people are going to search for you, so we want to make sure everything possible pops up for you. All right, but once that is completed, just click the Save option, and then I can show you what that actually will look like. All right, so everything's saved on here, so let me go back over to that View Site option. Here we go. And then at the top right, you're going to notice that we're now going to have a break, and both phone numbers are going to display on here. All right, so just to give you a heads up. All right, so both phone numbers will display. So that's just another way to actually display both phone numbers. You're not obligated to by any means, but I just want to give you a heads up on that. So I'm actually going to change that out real quick because I don't want to mess that up for her. Here we go. Perfect. Now, another thing you'll probably want to do is go through and create a team page. All right, so usually the About page. All right, so if you already have an About page created on another website, you can literally copy and paste it if you'd like to. There is an option on here where it'll actually say, oh, is it not displaying over here? It used to actually show that for the About page. That's okay. All right, then I can click on the Create a Page option. It's kind of upsetting. They must have just changed that. I saw that a couple days ago. All right, so if I click on the Create a Page option, we can actually edit our About page immediately. All right, so once I click on Create a Page, then you can actually view all the pages that you've created, or you can look for the About page that you may have set up or just had previously set up, where you can actually update this with your team info. I would highly suggest adding inside headshots, bios, and contact info on here. All right, you can do all that. All right, directly from here, you have a little photo icon. All right, kind of looks like mountains and a moon on here where you can upload images. All right, then obviously you can just add inside text over here. You can add inside emails, phone numbers, all right, anything that you want to. And once again, if you have this on another site, you can just copy and paste it and add it over here too. All right, so that way you're basically making a Meet the Team page that'll help out tremendously. All right, so I always want to make sure that you guys have one page that's purely just for your team. Now, one thing to note, you can also go through And if you want to, let me go back over to our main page on here. You can also change the domain name, right, to actually be your team domain name, right, or just to kind of mimic that. Now, the domain name that'll automatically pop up, let me refresh this real quick. It's going to sync up with your email address, all right, whatever your KW.com email is, it'll typically sync up. So if you have johnsmith@KW.com, then your Placer site would technically be johnsmith.kw.com, but you can actually change that subdomain. So if you want to on here, you can actually go through. I can click the edit site option down here. I can click edit site over here. It'll take us to the same location. All right, so if I click edit site down here, for instance, all right, it's going to take me over to my site settings section. All right, the only thing that I'd want to focus on here is just scrolling all the way down the bottom. All right, and clicking on custom domain. This is where you can add inside a custom domain name. Now, two things that you can actually do on here. One, you could obviously change the subdomain, which is what I'm about to show you. Or two, much like Lori did for her account, you can add inside a custom domain name, which I would highly suggest doing. All right, so when I click on custom domain, then I can actually go through and I can edit my domain on here. It looks like she already has a custom domain, so that's perfect. All right, so I'm going to remove this real quick and I'll add it back in a second. All right, because now as you can see, if I removed it, then I could go through, I can click this edit option on here, and I could actually edit this to be the godfreyrealestategroup.com. All right, and all I'd have to do is click check availability to see if it's available. All right, looks like it is. So then I would technically have the godfreyrealestategroup.kw.com. Now, what she has set up, though, is a custom domain name. So in order to avoid any of this, I'm going to go ahead and continue and not save anything. All right, so if we look back on her site, let me make sure I didn't mess anything up. Should be good to go. All right, if we look back on her site in the address bar, as you can see, we have the custom domain name. If you don't have a custom domain name for your team, I would highly suggest going through and adding that in. Now, if you do purchase a custom domain name, please let us know because we can actually help to add that over for you. That's no problem at all. All right, but just to give you a heads up, if you do want a cheap custom domain name, do this. All right, go to Google and search for GoDaddy $.99. All right, so go to Google and search for GoDaddy $.99. So basically 99 cents. Now, when we do that, the first thing that's going to pop up is actually a Google AdWords ad that's going to say GoDaddy official site, GoDaddy 99-cent domain deals. All right, so you can actually get your first domain, all right, for the first year for 99 cents. So instead of it being, $15, $12, $10, whatever it might be, all right, then you can get this for just $1 for the first year. All right, and then as you can see up here, 99 cents, and the additional .coms are actually $9.99 as well per year, and that's not bad at all. That's really good. All right, so you can technically go through here and search for your team name, whatever you want it to be. LeroyMarketingTeam.com. All right, so if that's what my team name was, then I could search for it. As you can see, it's available, so I could click Add to Cart. All right, and we're done. All right, so it's that simple on here. Now, that's all you need to buy. You don't need to worry about buying all the extra add-ons that they have. You're all good to go. You just want to buy it for the cheap, 99-cent amount. So after taxes and the extra fee you have to pay, it's usually about $1.17 or $1.20. All right, and that's for a domain for the entire year. Now, the reason I suggest having a domain for your team, one, it makes it a lot easier to access your website. Two, it looks a lot cleaner whenever you have all of your branding completed. But three, if anything ever happens and you decide later on, right now you're using the Placer site, and a year from now you decide, hey, I want to really move over to this custom website so I can control everything and it's just my site. All right, having that custom domain is going to help you out tremendously because you control the domain, so you can point it wherever you want to. All right, so with that being said on here, you could just move that domain over and you'd be good to go. All right, so you wouldn't have to change any of your printing cards. You wouldn't have to change any of your branding online. All right, nothing would change, which is the best part. All right, so getting a custom domain name for your team is the best thing you can do, not only for your team, but for your brand. All right, if you don't have a custom domain, please, please, please purchase one. All right, and I just showed you how you can get it for $1 for the first year too, which is good. All right, so going back over to our homepage, one more big item that I want to show you how to do inside the MyKW platform is how you can set up something called shared access. Now, if you're a team of 5 or less, or even technically 6 or less, all right, this will help out tremendously because this will allow up to 5 member agents, as they call it, to view the lead agent's My Contacts section, or basically the back end of their eEdge control panel. All right, so instead of the other agents having to sign into your MyKW account and actually view this home page, view the cap status, everything of that sort, this will just give them access to the eEdge backend. All right, now in order to set this up, it's pretty simple. There are a couple steps involved, which is the fun part on it. The first thing that you'd actually want to do, and before we actually do that, I'm going to show you how to actually do this. I'm already linked up on her account, so I'm going to relink myself. So bear with me for one quick second. I forgot to take this link off, so I apologize. Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, she's under a different account on here. I apologize. She has 2 market centers she's a part of. Let me change out the proper one on here. Bear with me for one quick second. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to link myself up with Lori so you can get an idea as to what this will look like. Now, there are a couple steps involved, unfortunately, but it's nothing too drastic, which is the good part. All right, so as you can see, currently she's the lead agent, and I'm linked up as a member agent, and I was connected, almost 3, coming up on 3 years ago, wow. All right, and I was connected about 3 years ago, so I can access the back end of her account. So I'm going to show you again today how you can actually do that. So I'm going to disconnect this real quick. So the first thing that you'll want to do for each agent that you want to link up with the lead agent's account, all right, is you want to sign into their MyKW account. All right, so I'm going to log out, and I'm going to sign into my MyKW account real quick. So let me see. I just changed my password to do a test thing earlier where it showed my password, so I'm trying to figure out what I made the new password. All right, so the first thing you'll want to do is for the agent that wants to view the lead agent's account, and you'll want to go inside their account, click the plus sign next to My Contacts, and go to Shared Access. All right, that second option down on here, Shared Access. Now, this is kind of the free way of doing it. I'm showing you guys all the free options on here. All right, so that's the biggest thing. I'm showing you all the free things. Because at the end of the day, obviously, there is the eEdge Business Suite that's about $1,000 a month where you can actually just have everyone collaborate together. Or you've got the .loop Pro account or Team account that's about $150 a month for 5 people. But I'm showing you all the free stuff. I want to make sure you guys are leading with revenue and taking advantage of everything that's available for you right now. So when I click on Shared Access, there's only one thing that I want to do on the member agent's account. And that is to make sure that this button right here that says I am a member agent and want access to a lead agent's account is selected. Alright, so we want to make sure that is selected on here. Alright, so once that's selected, I will click the Save option, and that is all that I need to do. Now, you do need to know what your eEdge username is, or your, sorry, not username. Well, in most cases it is the username, but your eEdge website is. Now, that eEdge website can be found in the address bar up here when you're in the back end of eEdge. So here's my eEdge website address. So I'm going to copy that and paste it over here so I don't forget it. So now that I have that I'm a member agent and I want to access my lead agent's account, I have that saved. All right, I'll click Save again just to make sure it saves. There we go. All right, and I've got my eEdge website address on here. All right, now we can go to our lead agent's account to send over an invitation to link this up. So I'm going to go back over to our lead agent's account on here. So I'm going to log back in with Lori's account. Oh, misspelled her username. That's what I get for typing quickly. Here we go. I think my mouse batteries are dying too. Gotta love it when the mouse batteries die. All right, so now that I've already gone through on the member agent side, now I'm going to go over on the lead agent side. I'm going to click the plus sign of my contacts and go to shared access again. So this way I can grant access to Scott to access the back end of Lori's account. All right, when this is done, I'm going to show you what that'll look like, so hopefully everything will piece together. So once I click on shared access, here we go. All right, so under the lead agent's account, we just want to come through here and say, I'm the lead agent and want to share my account with member agents. All right, so this lead agent can only be for one person. All right, there's only one lead agent, but you can have up to 5 member agents, so keep that in mind. All right, so when I click on I'm the lead agent, I'll click that save option to make sure it saves properly. All right, much like I said before, you need to enter the agent's eEdge domain name. So I'm going to enter my domain name on here for my eEdge website. That was scottleroy.kwrealty.com, and I can click search, and now I pop up. All right, so it's got my name on here. It has my mobile, my office. Here's the website, and I can click invite. Now, once I click invite on here, as you can see, there's an invitation that is currently pending. All right, it says it was invited. You are able, much like we did earlier as the lead agent, to deactivate anyone that's on your team from viewing your backend. If someone leaves, or maybe you just don't want them to view your backend anymore, this is an option on here. But now that this has been sent over, the next thing I'll need to do is sign back into my MyKW account as the member agent to accept this. Now, hopefully this has changed, but previously, in order to view this, I had to delete my internet history, so I'm going to take a chance and hope that it's been updated and changed. Hop back over here real quick. So now I'm going to sign back into the member agent's account to accept that invitation, so now I can access Lori Godfrey's account. Alright, so this is the first account we started on where I said I was a member agent. Then we went to our lead agent's account and invited ourselves over. Alright, so now we need to accept the invitation. So I'm going to click the plus sign of my contacts, go to shared access. Alright, and fingers crossed I don't have to delete my internet history, and I don't. That's fantastic. Alright, then as you can see, invitation, the Godfrey Real Estate Group has invited you to become a member agent and share their account. If you accept, you'll be able to access and use their account in their name. Alright, so it won't automatically display my name. It would display the team's name. Alright, or the lead agent's name to generate new leads and follow up on leads assigned to you. You will also be able to continue to work in your own account. So I'm going to click accept on here. Alright, and now it is set up properly. So as you can see now on here, you're currently a member agent of the Godfrey Real Estate Group and can share their account at HillsboroPortlandHomesearch.com because she has the pro account, so that's her domain. You can access and use their account in their name to generate new leads and follow up on leads assigned to you. So if I click the access button on here, or even the click here to access their account, alright, then under my account, I did not have to sign in with Lori's info. I signed in with my own info to protect, obviously, username and password. Alright, now I'm in the back end of Lori's account, and as you can see, I can go through, I can view the home option, I can view contacts on here. There are some limitations. I can't export or import contacts. I can view listings, I can view marketing as well. Alright, so this will help out tremendously on here so I can actually go through and utilize everything. Now if you notice, there's not the account section, so I can't change account info. But under the all contacts section, then I can actually start to view contacts on here. I can start to follow up with people. It'll help out tremendously in this case. Alright, so this will work out perfect for you guys. So that way you can have everyone to access one CRM at one time. Alright, so if I want to, I can click on Lori Jean, then I can bulk update her, I can print the label, I can view all the different information for them. Alright, so it's pretty cool how all this is set up. Alright, so I can add records, I can send them the trash and delete contacts. Alright, so we can go through and completely utilize this backend, but we don't have to access Lori's account. Alright, so for privacy concerns and also just to avoid other agents on your team seeing your GCI or anything of that sort, this is the best way to do it. Then in addition to that, I can also click the return to my account option. It'll take me right back to my own eEdge account where I'll have access to everything. Alright, and then we're all good to go. Alright, so that's a little quick overview how you can actually set up shared access. Now, there are 3 more quick items I want to take a look at. 1 more that's going to be on MyKW, and 2 more that are actually items that we use over here on our team that I think you guys might benefit from. All right, so 1 more thing that I want to show you guys on MyKW is under My Transactions for .loop. So if you're utilizing .loop in your market center, I think approximately 80 to 90% of offices are utilizing this, so I definitely want to show you guys it. There is a way where you can actually add other agents to your team on loops. Now, adding an agent to your team on a loop just means that they have complete access to that loop. Or they can go through and they can basically act as the main person that created the loop. All right, so it's kind of like sharing responsibility on who's going to add inside documents, who's going to add inside tasks, different items of that sort. All right, so I'm going to click on Start My Transactions on here. All right, and of course it's popping up like that. I never used my account on here, so let's see if it pops up. Cool. All right, so here's obviously just an account that I happen to have on here. All right, so in this case, what I can actually do is I could create a brand new loop if I wanted to, or I could access any loop that was previously created. So if I click on any previously created loop, for instance. All right, I'm going to get rid of this up here. All right, then I can scroll down in the People section. Now, on the People section on here, if you notice where it says On My Team, all right, that's automatically going to be linked up with the Office Admin. All right, so it'll automatically be synced up with the Office Admin on here. But if you ever want to add someone else that's on your team as well, like on your personal team, and you want them to have complete access, all right, all you have to do is click the Add Person option. All right, and when we click Add Person on here, we can type inside their name. All right, and then we can type inside their email address as well. All right, obviously I'm going to put inside a role. I'll put in Buying Agent for the time being. All right, but there is an Add to My Team option up here at the top right that we'll want to check. All right, so once we check that Add to My Team option, first thing first, this cannot be undone for this loop. So make sure whoever you are adding to the team is someone that you definitely want added on there. All right, team members share everything in a loop, documents, people, and tasks. This is only recommended for people working closely together on a deal. For example, agents on the same side of the deal should be on the same loop team. All right, clients can be on their own loop team, but agents and clients should not be on the same loop team. So in this case, if you happen to have another agent in your team that you want to sync up on .loop so they can start to send over contracts, they can start to help out with the transaction, this will be perfect. If you have a team that has a compliance coordinator or transaction coordinator, this would be perfect to add them over as well. All right, but once I click continue, there we go. All right, so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. We've already got the role, so I'll click Add Person. And there we go. So now Scott Leroy has been added. It looks like the team invitation was sent. We can cancel it if we send it on accident. But once they actually go through and they approve it, then they'll automatically be added to our team. So anything that we can do as the main agent that created the loop, they would be able to do as well. Now, this is a workaround instead of having to purchase the .loop team account. All right, that's usually about, I think they said $150 for about 5 people to utilize. All right, so in this case, depending on how big your team is, this would be the best way to do it. Yes, you have to do it each time, but it's still the free method, so that's the best part about it. All right, so I always like to give you guys a heads up on that. All right. So that's just a couple different tips and tricks that you can utilize on MyKW to 1, brand yourself as a team, 2, utilize the app as a team, 3, utilize obviously all of your marketing pieces as a team, your placer site as a team, set up shared access so other people, on your team can access your CRM so you can just have all contacts, all marketing in one location to keep it simple. All right, but there are 2 things that I always like to show outside of MyKW that we use over here as our own team info too. All right, so first thing first, the one that I really like is something called Todoist. All right, so Todoist.com. As you can see, organized life, then go enjoy it. All right, so this is a great way where you can actually go through and have kind of a daily reminder of what you need to do. You can add typically up to 80 tasks. All right, that's completely free. They do obviously have premium options on here. All right, but it'll sync up with a PC. It'll sync up with a Mac. It'll sync up on your phone too, on your tablet. So that way on the go, you know exactly what you need to do each day. All right, so in this case, as you can see, you can go premium. It's only $29 a year, so it's nothing too crazy. 30-day money-back guarantee. All right, or of course, they've got their free options as well. Let me see if I can pull up the... they just changed it on their site, unfortunately, so I was hoping they were going to have an overview of free versus premium versus business and everything, and there is a business option on here too. All right, but that's okay. All right, the free option, oh, there is pricing right up here. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. All right, so here's kind of the difference of everything. So obviously for Todoist free, all right, as you can see on here, it's $0. You can have up to 80 projects that are available, or basically tasks that you need to do. All right, then for the premium one, it's $28.99 per year. All right, and then for Teams, it's $28.99 per user per year. All right, so if you wanted to do that. Now, we over here just use the free basic version because we don't need too much on it, but it's nice because we're able to actually keep track of what we need to do on each day. We can have recurring events of what we need to do, and typically we don't go over 80 different tasks on here. That's the good part about it. All right, but if you do want something that's even going to email you, there is the option down here under the business option or even under the premium option where you can add tasks via emails too. All right, so that's one tool that we usually suggest utilizing not only for a team but also for productivity. All right, and the other big one that we use over here outside of just all the different Google apps is Slack. All right, Slack is a fantastic place where you can actually go through and chat with your team on any given day. Now, if you're like us, you're constantly getting emails, you're constantly getting phone calls, so you need just some location where you can just chat with your team. Now, obviously, there are other things like Google Hangouts. You could use Skype. All right, we prefer Slack because you can actually just send over documents. You can actually search for different things that have been sent on there. You can flag or star things that you need to come back to. All right, and the good part is there is obviously an upgraded price per each person, or there's a free option, and that's the one that we use. So as you can see, there's the free option on here. All right. The only bad part is you only get to save up to 10,000 of your most recent messages, and you do go over that pretty quickly once you start utilizing it, but that's okay. All right, or of course, if you're a smaller team, they do have it set up where it's only $667, all right, per each person. All right, you can have unlimited messages on here too. All right, so it's pretty cool. You can actually set up different channels. You can actually flag things you need to come back to. You can send over documents. You can actually send over images that you need to. All right, so anything that can basically be attached is fantastic. All right, but it's a great way to just have constant communication. It's really a live chat at the end of the day. All right, and we usually use that internally, but obviously I've seen some teams that will actually use it externally in order to stay up to date with their clients that they're working with too. All right, so it's kind of just an easier way than texting. There you go. All right, so Todoist and Slack are the two big ones that I usually suggest utilizing for teams because I think that helps out tremendously. All right, we've used both of those for quite some time. We've used Todoist for about 4 years, Slack for about 1.5 years now, and both of them have worked out fantastic. Now, obviously, the last thing you guys would probably want to take a look at, I'm not going to show you on here because I think it's linked up with my own personal stuff, all right, would be Google Apps, all right, or Google Drive. All right, so if you ever go to drive.google.com, all right, that you can actually access Google Drive. You can share documents, you can share different images, you can share different videos, or you can set up Google Sheets on there too, and you can actually collaborate with your entire team to view everything. All right, so that way if you just need one cloud computing source where everyone can access all the different documents for the teams, you can organize it. This will help out tremendously. All right, we use Google Drive daily. All right, we use it religiously so that way we can keep up to date with everything. All right, and that's another fantastic thing to use for Team 2. All right, so there you go. All right, so that is going to be it for the end of our kind of team. I don't even know what we technically call this class, but basically different tips and tricks for teams that you can actually utilize.